Hey there, this is Chris, and I hope you are doing well. Now, if you're new to financial planning, there are a lot of websites available to you on the internet or even on YouTube that can really, help you get a good jump start as to how you would master financial planning. I'll show you two websites that I found yesterday, and they're pretty good. So if I bring your attention here, this one is by Money Owl, that was acquired by Temasek Trust a couple of years ago, I think. And they do have very interactive articles and also checklists that would help you in navigating the complex world of financial planning. The other type of websites, if you do a quick Google search about financial planning, you will come across some articles, and one of them that I found quite interesting is by a company called SoFi from the US that has a lot of articles on the fundamental things that you need to know all about financial plans. So key points are essentially, setting your goals, what do you want to use your money for, understanding your resources, how you're making your income, analyze your cash flow to understand how your income is being used for expenses, and then fine-tuning your budget and also understanding what debts you have and trying to, take care of them before you even do any form of investments. And monitor and review. So SoFi and others articles are pretty good, but they are pretty boring, I would say. Money Owl one is quite interesting. It is quite interactive. The user interface is quite user friendly. So if you were to go to the main website, you'll be able to see a number of checklists, and that checklist will be dependent if you are a child or if you're just starting work, or if a checklist about health and or about retirement. So if you do have health concerns, if you're young and healthy, or if you have concerns or you are retired, what are the considerations, right? So it will give you a checklist. Like, let's say you're young and you have some health concerns, touch wood. First, you need to understand if there are any, schemes from the government to help you, cope with your health issue. You need to assess insurance if you do have that, if you can leverage that to help with your expenses, health expenses, and also maybe consider saving more for insurance or for your medical care. So there are a number of checklists here which are quite interesting depending on which stage of life you are in. But the one that I wanted to bring your attention to, especially if you are a young adult just starting out in the workplace, or venturing into your own self-employment, or even starting up your own company or your entrepreneurship journey, just look at this thing called Owl Rubrics, which is a set of journeys, if I can call them that, journeys as to how you can be financially free. So first two things are the most important: how to start budgeting and also manage your debts. And then once you have a mastery on both of these, then you can start to think about surpluses that you can put into investments, right? Because ultimately the investments will help you into retirement, right? Now, if you look at budgeting, right, it starts off with building an emergency budget fund, and that's one of the more critical things that you need to consider as you start to plan your finances. So build an emergency fund first, implement a personal budget, and make sure that you pay yourself first and more each year. So here you will have steps. So what to do to pay yourself first. So on payday, always transfer X amount of money towards your savings or your investments or your interest or interest debts, right? Before you spend it on any other wants, right? Try to put aside 1% more each year. Try to have that discipline so that you can increase your savings. And then when it comes to bonus time, when you are paid additional bonus at the end of the year, make sure that you stash away 50% of that elsewhere. Building emergency fund. So if you go through these articles, it will give you some guidelines. It is not like a Bible or a rule or a law, but it does help you understand the key concepts of why these things are important and what you should be aiming for. So I think in this article it talks about 6 to 9 months of expenses, which is what I actually advocate. I would say 6 to 12 months, 12 months if you can. But once you have 6 months, then I think it's time to celebrate, right? So it gives you some example on how you should apportion your salary if you are an employee. So if you take home $4,000 and after deductions into providence funds and whatnot, you take home $3,200, and from there, what do you do with it? Allocate, let's say, $2,600 for expenses, $800 for for your mortgage for your home, right? And based on the expenses itself, you know that you need to set aside, let's say, 6 months of $2,600. That would equate to $15,600. So you need to have $15,600 stashed away somehow, right? So from that emergency fund, you can try to have a cash savings of $15,600, and if you have providence funds, try to aim for $4,800. So that's pretty good start. And then when it comes to budgeting, step 1, make sure you have a system on where your money goes to, and then also keep track of all your credit cards. Second, pay yourself first for your savings and investments. And third is make sure that you have a specific way on tracking your expenses. So in this article, it talks about the envelope system, where the envelope system is where you allocate a certain amount of monies into each of these envelopes, and each of these envelopes have its own purpose, right? So they call it accounts, so I call it envelopes, right? First envelope is for your salary, second envelope is for your savings, third envelope is for your expenses. This is to ensure that you know where the money goes to, and try to deter you from incurring more than you have in that particular envelope. Debt management. What kind of debt ratio is good? How do you reduce debt? So it talks about what you should be doing, how to do that. Use the bonus, gives you some examples. And then when it comes to investments, there are many investment schemes. I think this article goes into discussions on how to save. It doesn't talk about what investment strategies. That's a very big topic, and it's probably in some of the articles within the website. And retirement here, this is it talks about the 4% retirement withdrawal rule. So the 4% retirement withdrawal rule talks about that you should have enough cash in your bank, and if you were to withdraw 4% from that reserve every year, you should have enough in that bank to last you until you pass on. Now, the mortality rate for a male in Singapore is about 83 years old. So if you plan to retire, let's say at 60 years old, 65 years old, then you need to calculate how much money you need to have in your bank so that money can last you until the average lifespan of a male, which is 83 years old. So if you have $1 million and you withdraw 4% from it every year, how long would that last you? Assuming that you don't have any other income into that bank. So I think there are a lot of concepts here that would benefit you greatly. So instead of just mindlessly going through TikTok videos, YouTube videos, go ahead and read through some of these very rich materials that you can find online. And I think I would recommend this if you don't know where to start. All right. So let me know if you have any questions. I have gone through this journey. I may be able to answer you. I may not be able to answer you. But I'll be more than happy to share with you my experience. Leave a comment. Hit the like, subscribe. Till then, take care and God bless.